So we saw some David Johnson, prime David Johnson looking like out there. I mean, that was just fun to see. Listen, I mean, regardless of what you think about the trade, I mean, I think we all are pretty much on the same page that it made no sense to get rid of DeAndre Hopkins for, David Johnson and a second round pick. Not a lot of logic there, but the one thing I do have to say is that, David Johnson, he didn't ask to get traded. So the fact that he was able to really, I feel like he definitely showed some promise. And he had a few moments that he really did look like prime David Johnson out there. I'll show some from the passing game, and then we'll get on to the rushing game. This is going to be might be a bit of a shorter video. I don't know, just a few plays I wanted to break down. One play that you're going to see is going to be this one, where you're going to have a couple offensive linemen go out the lead block for Johnson. It's a screen pass, so pretty simple play. Johnson just runs out. Offensive linemen get in position. But what's going to actually happen is that you really want to take a look at Houston's center, because he's going to, his goal is to just allow the player who he's blocking to get by him and then run out so he can lead block for Johnson. But the problem is going to be that he's actually going to get pushed back pretty far. And if you notice, Johnson ends up running into him, which knocks him over. So he can't really go over and make the block that he wants to make right here. You notice that there's a Kansas City player rushing in, and he would love to be able to make this block, but he can't really get in position the way he wants to. So this is where David Johnson comes in. This is why you want a great halfback, because you hope that a great halfback can make a play, and you need someone to make a play right here because there's an unblocked man running right at you. But watch what Johnson is going to do. Watch that jump cut. He gets around him and is able to get just some more yards. Again, nothing outstanding, but a good play. The way he was able to do that. And it was that jump cut. That's what made him so lethal when he was in Arizona, back when he was playing for Bruce Arians in that fantastic, 2,000 yards from scrimmage season. And it looks like he's, maybe could potentially try to do that again. I mean, again, long way to go. But, hey, over 100 yards after 1 week, including averaging 7.7 yards per carry. That's pretty great. He had... or it was actually 7 yards per carry. It was 77 yards on 11 attempts. That's pretty good. And there were a couple times, too, where it wasn't like he was just gaining yards, but he was actually making plays. Like on this one, bit to unpack here. The main things you're going to want to take a look at is that, for one thing, there's going to be a tight end who's going to be, or it's actually a wide receiver who's going to be flashing towards the bottom of the screen. But what he's going to do is he's going to flash to the bottom of the screen, but he's kind of doing this in a way that's going to actually end up getting a little bit in Johnson's way. You kind of wonder if the limited practices and no preseason had something to do with that. So he's gonna kind of get in Johnson's way. So that's gonna be a problem. Another thing you notice is that the left guard, he's moving up to block a Kansas City player who's lined up against a center, while the center moves up to block a linebacker. So that's a kind of a tough block, and it's not going to work out too well either. So watch how the second the ball is snapped, you notice that Johnson, he has the ball, but again, he has to wait for his receiver to pass him because there was this little hiccup. And on top of this, there's now, 74, his guard. Again, it's a tough block. I'm not blaming him, but it's a tough situation right now. So Johnson is in trouble. So what is he going to do? Well, he's going to just be patient. He's going to just relax a little bit. Don't panic. Be patient. Watch how he kind of just takes a step and then runs, and then he's able to get to the outside. He even makes 38 miss there and is able to get his way into the end zone for a touchdown. I mean, that's like a star-level play right there. That makes you think, man, he does look like the David Johnson of old. He really does. Again, I can't be more clear than this. If David Johnson wins MVP this year, it was a bad trade from Houston, because they could have gotten David Johnson without giving up DeAndre Hopkins, or they could have gotten more draft capital back. So either way, it's definitely a bad trade, although it definitely stings a little bit less with, if David Johnson is able to have a really good season. It really does seem like, I think that this is kind of the team that Bill O'Brien wants. He wants a really good running back. I think he's kind of wanted this star-level running back in David Johnson. It can set things up. It can set up play action. Like right here, I actually thought that they got him on play action badly on this play. I feel like they should have gone to the well a bit more, but it's going to be play action with David Johnson out there. You have a receiver running over the middle. This is also zone coverage, so this is definitely one you want to run play action. And as you see, there's Watson fakes the handoff. It might have been an RPO might have been play action. It's hard to totally tell. Does look like the offensive line is run blocking, so I do believe it's an RPO, not play action. However, Kansas City fully expected this to be a run because, again, offensive line run blocking, David Johnson's been running well, but now you just have a player wide open, and this is just an easy throw for Watkins to make, and he's able to make it, and they're able to pick up a first down on first down, and that's a huge help. Again, we all get how play action works. I don't think I'm, making anybody, opening any eyes necessarily, but I wanted to bring that up just because I wanted to sort of show what his impact, really was. And again, they didn't really run play action too much, but I think they would have had some real success had they gone through that well a bit more, especially earlier on when they kind of really, were stuck in the mud a little bit after that early touchdown for, the second and third quarters. They really couldn't get much going. This is one more play I really liked where this was a 3rd down and 2. And at the time, this felt like a really big play in the game. Obviously, they would get in field goal range, miss the field goal. Kansas City was able to get a field goal of their own. That kind of, that was kind of the beginning of the end. But at this time, it did seem like a big play where there's a minute and a half left in the second half. It's a 3rd down and 2. Who knows if you go for it here or not? You probably don't because you don't want to give Kansas City the ball, right at the 30-yard line. It's, as you see, it's a running play. There's really only 2 blocks you need to know about. It's the right tackle, and then you also are going to flash a tight end over to the bottom of the screen. So it's going to kind of create a wedge. Johnson tries to run through the middle, and this makes a lot of sense. But what's actually going to be unique here is that look at the Kansas City safety who is deep, and he's going to read this play very quickly, and watch how he's going to break in. So now at this point, the offensive line does their job. There is a gap, but a safety is ready to run in and try and make this play. This is anybody's game right here. And if Johnson doesn't get through the gap quick enough, and if he goes down quickly, this could definitely result in it being a 4th down situation. But Johnson shoots through the gap and dives forward, so no doubt about it, they get the first down. Just a good play. He had a great game. Definitely cool to see Johnson. Really, again, I'm not going to quite say he's on his, 2,000-yard season just yet, but that's just because, he was really dominant that season, and, I'm sure Houston would gladly take 1,600 yards, that would be pretty good. And I even remember thinking when this trade happened, I felt like, because, again, the David Johnson part happened first, and then we realized it was Hopkins. And I kind of felt like this was, a good move by the Texans to, buy low on somebody. Turned out they bought high on him. We didn't realize that at the time. But I still, again, I know the trade has been mocked to death. I think deservingly so. But David Johnson looked good. And you have to feel great for him after all of the undeserved hate he got. I mean, it wasn't his fault he got traded. So, yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.